going on, YouTubers, bingers, airsofters alike? I am back with yet another trashy video for you guys. And in this video, if you can't tell from the intro and or the title, it's going to be going over my multicam kit, loadout, and or setup. I'm still in the works of trying to get my whole camera setup going so I could start running some gameplay. But I would like to go over every one of my kits, just that way you guys know what to expect from each video. Each one of my kits is set up differently, even though things are pretty similar, if that makes sense. You'll know more as I go along and put out each video. So I'm going to start out with one of my mains that I typically run quite a bit, which is my multicam. But before I get into the video, if you haven't checked out my previous video, be sure to do so. Link is in the description, and or just go to my channel. For those of you that did check out my last video, you're awesome. For those of you that subscribed, you are the chads of the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you guys like the trashy content, and or if I feel like I taught you something, and or you learned something new, and or you enjoy the video or even the kit, be sure to hit that like button. So before I go over how I have things set up for my multicam kit, I just want to have a full disclaimer that any of the companies that you hear me speak about or give praise to, I have no sponsorship or affiliation with. Everything that you will see, everything that I go over is purely funded by myself. And just because I have things set up a certain way doesn't mean that's how you have to have things set up. What works best for me might not work best for you. Only way to know what works best for you is to try different things and play in them or even train in them. With that being said, I'll be going over the plate carrier first. There are 3 fundamentals when it comes to setting up a plate carrier, which I'm sure you've heard from other content creators and or elsewhere. And those 3 fundamentals are stopping holes, plugging holes, creating holes. With that being said, going over the first one, which is stopping holes, that goes over your first line of defense, which is typically plates. For airsoft, we don't really have to run plates. I know some people do run plates. I do have plates in that kit set up over there. However, in this one, I do have just some foam sappies. 6mm BBs, it's airsoft. It's not really, you're not really trying to stop being shot. As far as the second fundamental, which is plugging holes, maybe for airsoft, it goes a little bit more into airsoft than you would expect, which is essentially first aid. I do have a couple tourniquets throughout my kit. I try to follow the mentality of 1 is none and 2 is 1, as you will see as I go through all of my kits. I do have a IFAK on this kit, which is just a tearaway IFAK, which also houses a tourniquet, a bunch of band-aids, gauze, chest seal. Unfortunately, this one has no splint in it, but typical first aid things, because it's just airsoft. It's not really that deep. And then third fundamental, creating holes, just magazines, ammo, things of that nature. This is a Crye JPC 2.0. I do have a bunch of different pouches on here, as you can see. Honestly, don't know where to start. With my multicam setup in particular, I do like running 1-point sling, as you can tell up here. This is a Magpul MS2, I believe. They are quite hard to find. I just get them off eBay. I do like running 1-point slings. They have their benefits, but they also have their detriments, like having to have a hand on your main rifle quite a bit when you have it slung, or else it just flops all over the place. So this is a Crye JPC 2.0. On here I have an admin pouch, which in this admin pouch. Next to that, I have my dead rag, which I rarely use as well. Just dead rag pouch, which is just the Elite Force dead rag pouch. I've got an Earmore PT2 next to my admin pouch, which goes to my headset on my helmet. And various hoses, one on each side. Typically when I run this multicam kit, I'm typically running HPA setups. I have quite a few. Going just below the admin and all the hoses and everything else, which this is just a hydration bladder hose. Just below that, I run HSGI tacos on this kit. Quite a big fan of them. Easy to get things in and out. They have some pretty good retention on them. Typically with this setup, loadout kit, whatever you have, whatever you may call it, I typically run the M4 platform when it comes to this kit. I don't really ever run anything else. I can run 5.45 pattern mags in this. Kind of stretches out the HSGI toggles a bit, but I can run my AK-105 with this setup. On to the left of the mag pouches on these sides, I don't run any side plates. It's Airsoft, so side plates aren't really necessary. I don't really run side plates when it comes to real steel stuff either. Just not really a proponent of side plates. Maybe somebody will eventually change my mind in the future. But moving to the left from the HSGI tacos, I do have a melee weapon, which is just a rubber knife. Don't even remember what brand it is. Just in front of that, I have my radio setup, which I don't even remember this pouch either. I think I just got it off eBay. It's probably an Indo Gear radio pouch. Just houses my UV5R. Next to that, I have a tourniquet pouch in Multicam. Don't remember what brand that is either. So then moving on from the HSGI tacos to the right, I have yet another mag pouch, which this is a one Tigris single mag pouch. I would have loved to do another taco, but I threw the spare taco that I got, because I got this triple and then a spare taco on top, threw that on my belt setup, which I'll be going over here in a couple minutes. Moving on from that, like I said, I have an IFAK. It's just a tear away, a rip away. Pretty sure it's Indo Gear or one you just get off of eBay. Nothing special in particular. Now going on to the rear of the plate carrier, which I do have some patches that are by Weapon Grade Waifu. A little explicit, not gonna lie. They do ruffle a little bit of feathers, but again, I am your #1 favorite degenerate. Anyways, on the back, I have a Haley Strategic flat pack. Pretty sure it's a Haley Strategic flat pack. Then I also have a extension to the radio, which I do run these extended antennas on both my kits, which you will come to notice. Don't remember what brand they are. I just know that they work, and they work quite well. I like the range enhancement that they provide. It's quite nice. Moving on from there, I just have a grenade pouch or smoke pouch. I'm pretty sure this is by Blackhawk. Yeah, it's by Blackhawk. And this just houses one of the nades. Sometimes I run smokes in here, other times I just have the, which this one's not loaded, but just a Springer grenade that my local field likes to run. Not a big fan of these, but better to have nades that need them and not have them, and then have them and not need them. Which I do try to run at least 2 nades on every one of my setups. So that's the plate carrier setup, or my Crye JPC 2.0, as my carrier gets stuck to my belt. Then I'm going to move on to my second line of defense, which is my belt. Okay, so moving on to my belt setup. This is a G-Code Operator Series belt in Multicam. Pretty sure it's large, and I am quite a big fan of these belts. They are super nice. I used to run the over-the-pants belts back in the day, but they used to fall down all the time, even when I would like crank them down. I feel the whole hook loop inner and outer belt setup far superior. So we're going to go from Cobra buckle clockwise. Moving on clockwise, this is a Safariland's mid-ride with a Safariland QLS system on it. Quick release system, I believe it is, because I do run different sidearms. Here's a Glock holster which this is just an MC Kydex holster and multicam. Nothing in particular, has no retention, so no button to push. So trying to move away from these because if you don't have the right light system, things typically come in and out pretty easily. But like I said, I do run different weapon systems, and this is a Staccato or a 2011 holster, which I do run that every now and then. But I'm a big fan of these systems. Going on from there, which if you're curious, it just has a standard leg strap that I got off of like Amazon. Nothing in particularly special. Moving on from that though is a banger clip. I forget who produces these, but they are super nice. I do have a Ranger band on there to help retention a little bit, and attached to it I just have another Springer grenade. Every now and then I do swap this one out with a Thunder Bee. The pouch that's on the plate carrier doesn't fit a Thunder Bee. I throw smokes in there instead. This one, however, can house a Thunder Bee, which is super cool, super nice. Moving on from that, I have my dump pouch, which just really houses my in-gun mag and some gloves, and then whatever else I need to throw in there. It's just a roll-up dump pouch, not very big. I forget which brand this is. I think it's Indo Gear, but I'm not positive. I do run quite a bit of Indo Gear stuff. But there is that dump pouch. Moving on from there, I have yet another HSGI Taco. Again, some of my favorite mag pouches. They're easy to get to, easy to re-index magazines. Again, in 5.56 and or M4 pattern magazines. And then moving on from there, I have some more HSGI Tacos. Again, some of my favorite mag pouches. Easy. Next to that, I do have some Ranger bands on a tourniquet to keep the tourniquet there. Again, one is none, two is one. On this kit specifically, I think I have three. One in the IFAK, one attached to the IFAK, and one attached to the belt. So that's the belt setup for my Multicam kit. And then moving on to the last topic, which is the helmet. Moving on to the helmet, I'm going to move this belt out of the way. Moving on to the helmet, pretty sure this is just a bump cap from 6mm Pro Shop. I've had these stuff for quite a while, so excuse me if I forget the names of everything and how everything I have built out, but this is how I have it set up. I do have some M32s on here with some arc rail adapters on them. Big fan of Earmore headsets. I do run quite a few Earmore headsets on things, as you'll come to see. Attached to this, I also have, I believe, an Indo Gear helmet cover. There we go. The name was preceding me, or escaping me for a minute. An Indo Gear helmet cover with an Indo Gear counterweight system, which I do have some counterweights in there. I do have a spare CR123 battery in there, which is for the digital nods that I have on here. I forget what these light systems are. They do work, kind of. This is IR. Does work IR, which I feel like it's on the IR setting because I can't see it, and I'm sure the camera might be able to pick it up. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll get some footage of that and throw that in later on in editing phase, but it does provide... Oh, maybe it's dead. Oh, no, there it goes. Everything does work like it should. Some things might need batteries replaced. Which I just have a Repro Wilcox on here with a digital PVS 18 if you were curious. What else? I do have this wire light by Night Evolutions. I forget what model this is, but it does provide red light, white light, and IR light. Or it might just be red light and IR. But yeah, that's my helmet setup. No ballistic rating on it. It's just a bump cap by 6mm Pro Shop. Nothing special, nothing in particular. So that is my multicam kit setup. I'ma blow up.